Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. Today, I'm joined by Trevor. He is the owner and a new business owner, less than a year old, for River Runs Sports and Outdoors.com. He's
Yes.
a fantastic person. He's a staple in the Prescott area community. He's part of the Strategic Networking Partners group, again, in the Prescott area. And he is a fantastic person. I got the pleasure of being paired up with him at a charity golf tournament down there as well when we spent some time there. It was a fantastic time. He's a great guy. Trevor, thanks so much for being on the podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So let's talk a little bit because you're in a very unique position that I think can give a lot of encouragement and words of wisdom directly to people uh, that are looking to start their own e-commerce business. Talk to us, though, before we jump into that, talk to us about your personal experiences or your life journey to this point. And what are some of the experiences and lessons that you have learned in your life that have now shaped your values as a business owner?
Man, lessons I've learned. Well, I grew up in the trades. So 21 years actually almost doing mainly HVAC, going on to electrical. So I've hurt myself a lot. I've learned a lot about leadership, how to, take groups of people or crews of people and push them towards getting things done the proper way. To shape it moving me towards an e-commerce store, I would guess I would just have to say that'd be thinking more of my family. You can save all the money you want. You could be successful in any trade. But now I got a little girl. She's not going to be doing electrical and HVAC. And if she did, good for her. But the chances of that being are not so much. And that's why I actually started my store, was for her.
Awesome. I love that. Family oriented, family mission. And let's go back a little bit. Talk to us about, we got the why, but how did you come up with the idea that you wanted to be an e-commerce business?
Honestly, I had left my previous job as a project manager at an electrical company in town. I was sitting here watching my kid, trying to think of my future. So I was doing some Googling, of course, and talking to some people. I ran into a few owners online and heard that they had been extremely successful in some of those areas. For me, the biggest thing would have been just picking what I like to do. Me, myself, I like to be outside a lot. I love sports. I've always done sports. As you know, we got to go golf together. That was a good time. And I love camping and fishing and just being out in the wilderness. So to pick a platform, I just kind of had to base it on what I like and what I love. If you pick something you're not a fan of or something you don't really want to do, you're going to have a hard time going forward with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you brought together the different aspects of your life that you enjoyed, and you put together and pieced together a business around what you saw other people being successful at, and also your passions and your strengths. And then you started a business around those. You figured out, or you came up with a business model around those. Does that
Yes.
sound right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I love it. I love it. But talk to us about, how did you start approaching an e-commerce platform, like building an e-commerce platform? And then, like, what were some of those early steps that you had to go through, and maybe some of those challenges?
Some of those, the biggest thing is design and building. I didn't know where to start. So for me, myself, I actually had to find someone who did. And I found a consultant that was willing to help me build the website, build the platform, find a logo, do some designing. Of course, the name was us. They didn't help with that part. We had to create that. But of course, I wouldn't want anybody else to name my business for me anyway.
All right. So you went out and you sought some counsel, sought some wisdom and coaching from somebody that's been there, done that, got you on the right foot, got your start on the right paths. Is there anything that you would have done differently now that, looking back over the last 6-8 months?
I think the only thing I would have done differently is probably just do some more training. My platform Shopify, and they actually have some really good platforms out there for people to learn a little more, to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not perfect. I still have some things I'm trying to learn and things I'm trying to figure out and do, like pop-ups and stuff like that to attract eyes. And it's a strategy and it's all on its own, and it's a challenge. So, I mean, you really got to learn how to work with computers and trying to think of all the algorithms and stuff. It's all one piece at a time.
One piece at a time.
So yeah, I feel like if I would have spent more time learning how to do that stuff myself, I could have built it faster.
Mm, okay. I like that. No, I spending time making sure that you're building on the right foundation. Was your coach the one that led you to Shopify, or did you decide to use them before?
He led me to Shopify. There's a couple platforms out there for this particular model, and the wholesalers that do e-commerce primarily through all these businesses. Shopify is a better platform. There's a few out there. My LLC actually gives me a spot on Wix that I haven't utilized yet, but I'm gonna actually funnel some stuff through there and probably do some podcast type stuff, but also I'm gonna use it for the future of my business because I got some big plans.
Awesome. Awesome. We're going to talk about those big plans here in a minute. I want to ask you just another question on how do you come up with the product, right? Because it's an online store. How do you go about making those relationships with the suppliers of the products of the goods, right? How do you start to approach that?
For me, it was just making a list. I mean, it's sports and outdoors. What's involved in that? What are people looking for? So I just gave myself a list of categories and just went from there. I started going through each one and filling it little by little. Some of the categories on my store still need a little more added to it, but we're getting there. We do free shipping all across the United States, and everything ships out of the US. So I got to kind of be a little picky on that part. I got to make sure everything is priced correctly so it's actually profitable for my business.
Mm. And so you made a list of all the different products that you felt you wanted to be on your website, and then you went out and you just started cold calling the companies that or the wholesalers.
So I actually have one wholesaler I use in particular. I'm working on a couple more. One of my big ones that I'd like to finish utilizing is actually Solo Stove. They do things where I could actually put my logo or other people's pictures and logos on fire pits and heaters and stuff of that sort. So a lot of these companies, what they want is sales and numbers.
Hmm.
And once you get to that spot, they'll allow you to be an authorized dealer is what they say, kind of like what these big stores do, Walmart and Home Depot and everybody. So it's a time thing. At the moment, I just got to keep trucking and get get everything on my platform and sold the best I can, and eventually I can have more than just a wholesaler that I go dig through and find all my products. I can actually have some authorized dealers that'll work with me, and that's when I'll really be able to start pushing forward.
Mhm. That's awesome. That's good to know. Like there's so you make key relationships with suppliers. You got to drive revenue. You got to drive sales, and then you unlock different levels of relationship status with these different vendors. Is kind of the game. Does that sound
Yes.
right? Let's talk a little bit about your marketing and your marketing strategy. How are you currently trying to get customers or driving customers to your website?
Mainly, I use social media. And as anybody's learned, social media is a big beast in its own.
Mm,
I can post all day long, and I'm working on actually trying to get some videos and stuff out there. So once I get those completely made and done the way I'd like, I can get those out for people to watch. But normally it's just a lot of creativity, pairing catchy slang or slogan with items that will catch people's eyes and make them want to go to my store. What I'm going to do in the future is actually a search engine optimization, which would bring my store up on Google faster when people look for sports and outdoors equipment and stuff like that. After talking to a lot of marketing and advertising companies, there's a lot that I'm not sure if I could trust. There's a lot in the e-commerce world that try to
well,
get you from overseas. Well, I don't mind using those kind of people, but I'm in the United States. So I actually found a lady, smaller company out of Maine, I think is where she's at. It's called Adamalis Marketing. Once I get my SEO finished, I'm going to be giving her a call and using her.
mm,
She's using her own name, obviously. It's Jennifer Adamalis, and she is built on smaller companies like me as herself. So she has a purpose and a drive just like I do, mainly family orientated. And I think she's going to do a great job marketing my store for me.
awesome. So it sounds like you kind of realize that maybe the marketing aspect is maybe a hole in your skill set that you currently have, but you're looking to grow, and you're looking to bring on a team member or put somebody on the roster that has that skill already to help expedite your marketing presence. And
Absolutely.
I think that's super wise and super smart. Like you know, the smartest people in the room know that they don't know everything. So being willing,
Yes, that's very
yeah,
true.
being willing to look around and say, who do I need on the team? That's a huge thing in business where you have to know not just the why and the what and the how, but you also need the who. The who is usually the most important question because who's on the team dictates the outcome. You
Oh,
can have
yes.
the best plan in the world, but if you don't have the right people executing that plan, then that plan's not going to go anywhere. So I think that's super, super wise because it does take a long time to build these different skill sets.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like I learned in the trades, same thing. I'm actually HVAC manager at a company in town, Allied Electric Heating and Cooling, and I have spent the last week especially doing nothing but building relationships and picking brands and doing pricing. And I'm like, another good reason why I want to hire someone to do it for me on my store. In this world, in the trades, I know a little more, so I could do it myself. But in the e-commerce world, people like Jennifer know better than I do.
Mm. So I like that, and it's good that you've touched on that kind of how are you currently as a startup in the grind. You still have your regular job, right? That your day job, your 9 to 5, we'll call it. But then you're building in your after hours or in your pre hours or after hours, you're building your dream job. And
Absolutely.
I think that, a lot of people are in that spot right now. Can you talk a little bit about that, about what that looks like for your family, for you personally? Like, how do you handle all that? Like, what's it like to be doing, to be living this startup life?
Well, it's definitely not easy. I always feel behind. Social media is the biggest one. Once again, it's the biggest thing people see right now. So to stay on top of it is the hard thing. I already have stuff I do in the morning. I wake up, I drink my coffee, of course, I do my workout, I eat breakfast. I try to do my 3 square meals a day. Being in sports, I have a lot of injuries I grew up with. So I have to learn to take care of myself first before I can move on with my day. And after that, just like I said, repetitiveness. You have to have the drive to do it, or you're always going to be behind. And then, of course, you got the wife that wants you to get your house tasks done.
Yeah.
We're actually in the middle of setting a new house on this property, and it's hot outside. I need to finish my tractor work so I can get our pool set and keep the kid happy during the day. And you just got to learn how to prioritize and keep your task in line. Always have a something you can write down your task list or put it in your computer. For me, I use my calendar a lot. Set
Mm.
reminders so I don't forget.
I love that. Yeah. No, making sure that you're balancing the different aspects of your life. One thing that's helped us is the different hats, right? I look at it like the different hats that you wear. You got your dad, you got your husband, you got your business, and then you've got your work hat, and then you've got your house. Like all the different jobs and responsibilities that you have. Different roles that you play, you have a different hat for each of them. And one thing that's helped us is being able to identify just what's the most important task each week to get done for each of those hats. And then I write those down and I put that on my calendar and I make sure there's a block on that. And then beyond that, um I'll add in there everything else that comes beyond that. So we have first level, first priorities, and then the second priority tasks get filled in after there's space made in the week for the main ones. But it sounds like you have something very similar where you are prioritizing your tasks and using your calendar and getting those notifications to stay on point and to make sure that because you got a lot of spinning plates, it's
Oh yeah.
very easy for something to slip through the cracks. So
Yeah, and like I said, at my actual day job, the HVAC side is new,
mm,
so I'm building an entire heating and cooling program while also being dad and husband and trying to get the work done I need to do at home. So it can always be very challenging to stay focused on your goals at that point.
yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate you sharing some of that behind the scenes struggle because people like to think that, you're going to start a business and you're just going to make a lot of money and it's all just going to happen immediately, right? Like that's
Right?
that's the TikTok world.
E-commerce, that's how they put it out there for you too. They'll fish you in there and say, "Oh, this is going to be great," and you're just going to do nothing but profit off of it. Well, you know what? It's not true. You
Yeah.
have to put in the work, and honestly, in the e-commerce world, you have to have a marketing and advertising budget. Without it, you won't survive.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's important to realize that everybody that's selling you a course and everybody's selling you all this different like here's how I did it, here's you could do it too kind of thing. A lot of those people, what they don't show you or don't tell you is all the baggage that comes along with that, all the work that you got to put into it. And the big secret I found is that there is no get rich quick scheme, right? You can't start a business and immediately it's going to start making money for you, printing money for you.
Right.
You have to build the skills. You got to build the skills. You got to build the reps. You have to build a business the right way. And it all takes time. Some businesses take shorter time than others, but everything takes time
Oh,
to build
absolutely.
some sort of proficiency at. So let's shift gears a little bit here then. Let's talk about your business, your online e-commerce business. Let's talk about some of your products. Let's talk about who you want to help and connect with.
My biggest platform that I want to move towards is actually the people who really love to get out and do things. A lot of my products I base for the camping world. I love to cook. So I actually have a lot of cooking stuff on there. And for the people who even don't like to leave their house a lot, I have an entire outdoor comfort section just for the ones who'd rather be in their backyard but still be active. So I got some games on there, bouncy houses, and the ones that fill with water. I actually put a bunch on there. The reason for that is I've noticed that for the cost you can go on my store and buy it for me is the same cost you could pay to rent it. So why not buy it for yourself and rent it to your friends? That's what I tell everybody.
Interesting.
Then you cover your family and you help your friends in need. You can give it to them cheaper than what they get it from the rental place in town.
Interesting. Okay. What are some of the other products that you sell that for and you say like outdoor games and stuff, like what kind of games?
Well, we have a few of them. Some of them are kid-based games like water guns, laser guns. There's a few kits on there for that kind of stuff. I had some cornhole boards or bags on there at one point. I think I had to pull those and find some new ones. So I'm still working on a new supplier for that one. The bouncy houses, like I said, and then just family-oriented games that you can set up and play in the backyard or at your campsite even.
Hmm. Okay. Awesome. And who would be let's talk a little I know you kind of touched on anybody that likes to be outdoors, but is there any more specifics that you could get on who your target customer, your best customers would be?
My best customers would definitely be campers, people that camp because they're the ones that also like to hike and hunt and fish, climb. Those are actually some sections I have on there: hunting, fishing, climbing, hiking, camping, outdoor comfort, and outdoor cooking.
Awesome. So if you are a camper and you spend a lot of time in your camper or you're a full-time RVer, you definitely want to be checking out Trevor's store.
Absolutely. Yeah, I even just put some new privacy stuff on there for the summer. I found a new couple different things for showering and using the bathroom and everything for those who aren't fortunate enough to have campers and RVs and stuff. So you can find those kits online.
Love it. Love it. And talk to us about where you said social media. Are you just focusing on one particular social media channel or are you
Uh,
like trying
as
to
of
do that?
lately, my main platforms have been Facebook and Instagram. I do have YouTube that I'm trying to work on for some videos and stuff. I have Twitter up there. Twitter's a little complicated on the business side, of course, so I'm still working on that one. But my main focus has definitely been Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. More videos to come, obviously. Still building all that kind of stuff.
Awesome. So if you want to see Trevor and his journey grow his business, checking out your channels and following you and subscribing to your content is a great way of just following your journey and seeing where you're
Absolutely.
going. So if you really want to know what it's like behind the scenes to be building your e-commerce business, this is probably a really great resource because you get a lot of that. You're going to get a lot of that truth. So when somebody places an order, talk to us about the operations or the mechanics of how an e-commerce platform works.
For that side, it's basically like ordering from Amazon. It might not come directly from me, although shipping, like I said, is not going to cost you anything and it's always going to ship out of the US. So when you place that order, I'm going to see it personally myself and I'm going to make sure that order gets filled and sent out to you as quickly as it can be.
Is that what's called drop shipping?
Yes. Now, in the future, I will have some physical products that I'm going to keep in stock, but we'll talk about that when we get into this farther.
When you when you place an order, your order gets placed in your website. The information goes out to your suppliers immediately. It says there's an order for X and it needs to go to this address. And you have all that back end support that just makes the magic happen and gets sent out and delivered.
Yes.
That sounds pretty simple enough.
Oh, yeah.
So, where do you see I know you said in the beginning you had a vision about where you wanted to go and how you wanted to grow this business. Talk to us about your vision. Tell us take some time here and really talk to us about your vision so we can see what is Trevor's goals, dreams, and aspirations here.
Well, I do have one product in particular I'm trying to get made. Once again, doing stuff like this very complicated. I have a few pieces that actually go into this product. It's going to be mainly for the camping, hunting, fishing, and survivalist world. It's going to be a portable item that people can take, unpack, use. It's something you can't find on the market right now. I've actually pieced this together over time for when I go camping myself. So when I had other people coming by my campsite and oh my goodness, look at that. Where'd you get all that from? Did you buy it somewhere? Absolutely not. I've actually
Mhm.
pieced it together over time. So now I'm actually trying to build this product all into one, and we're going to make it River Run Sports and Outdoors flagship product. You'll be able to buy it
Mm.
exclusively on my store. Take it with you anywhere you go. It'll be easily loadable and unpackable for the convenience. You're out there camping, you're trying to have a good time, you're trying to spend it with your family. You don't need to spend an hour trying to set something up or thousands of dollars to track everything down and build what you're trying to do. So I'm going to put it all together in one.
Could you give a little bit more information on what
It's
it does or
it's gonna be trying to say it without because I have to patent it. So
okay.
if people who like to get their campsite set up for convenience as far as making food and storage and being comfortable, I'm going to have an item that's going to come in one tote, I guess I should say. Bear proof tote is what it's going to be, kind of like the coolers they sell you nowadays. You'll be able to completely unpack this thing and have shade and tables and sinks and everything you need for a functional camp kitchen type deal, I guess I should say.
So your vision is eventually you're right now you're selling other people's products, but eventually you're going to create your own product line.
Exactly. I'm going to start with that. And then we're going to move into tours, actually. My main slogan is actually the river runs here, and so should you. So eventually, I'm actually set up some kind of half physical locations using campers and RVs so we can show that we have the ability to travel around and take people. We'll set up at riverheads and lakes and forests, and we'll be able to take people on camping and hunting expeditions and fishing, hiking, and just be able to take them out and show them the different aspects of the world. We're going to use tour guides, of course. People specialize in this kind of stuff, and we're going to build so we can feed you meals and just give you that 5-star experience. Once again, kind of like my portable item that I'm going to be selling with my logo on it, you're going to be able to hire us to cater your entire trip.
That's awesome. So, big picture playing, you've got some big visions, you got some big aspirations that are coming down the road. You mean developing your own product lines. You're going to be offering services. You want to be offering services to help people get that experience, that premium camping experience. And all of it's going to be found with your brand and your logo on it.
Absolutely. And that's the big thing about my item that I'll be selling through my store is we'll then be able to utilize that for our camping and hunting tours and stuff. And people will come see our flagship items set up in person and be able to just look at it and be in wow, as I would say.
Awesome. I love it. So, riverrunsportsandoutdoors.com.
Yes. And I brought this for you guys so I could show everybody. That's the
Perfect.
logo you're looking for. And if you got a second to scan it, you can scan that and go right to the website.
Perfect. Perfect. And we'll also put a link to all of his socials, all of his websites down below where you can get hooked up with the best sports and outdoors equipment that you can find at the best prices. Trevor is he's there. He is a young entrepreneur. He is on a mission, on a journey. Go support him. You need stuff. Plenty of big box stores. They don't need your dollars. Trevor is an honest guy looking to create a big business to help people with a premium camping and outdoor experience. So,
Absolutely. And
like,
anything on my store that has sale next to it, I've already compared to Amazon and Walmart, all the big sharks. So if you have questions, you can always email me. There's links in my store. You can message me even. I'll get back to you. If you can't find it, let me know. I'll find it for you.
awesome. So, with that, again, all of his links will be in our description below. Trevor, thanks so much for being here and for being courageous to start a business in this e-commerce world and for being willing to come on the show and talk about your experiences and your journey. Really appreciate that.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. With that, thanks everybody.
See you later.